My wheelchair offends your precious road. Get over it, Karen. Alright, let me tell you about my morning. Yeah, a morning that started with me just trying to live my life. A life that requires me to use a wheelchair. A life that, despite all of my best efforts, people feel the need to make even more difficult, simply because they can. It was right smack dab in the middle of a snowstorm and Christmas, one of those times when everything is just a mess, when the whole world just seems to be conspiring against you, and when you just have to go out there and try to get by, even when it is literally the last thing that you want to do. I had to venture out, yes, I had to get a few last-minute things, and that is where my health started, and that is where I learned how terrible people actually are. We had a blizzard on Saturday, yeah, it made all of the sidewalks completely useless, all blocked up by snowbanks, covered with pools of ice or piles of slush, like it was some never-ending nightmare, like it was a twisted version of some sadistic game. So, yeah, I was forced to give up. I had to abandon all hope of using those sidewalks, and use the road instead, because I had a responsibility, because I had to get my things. I did my best to stick to the bike lanes, because, that made sense, and because, at this point, I was so tired that it was the only thing that I could do. But I was there, yeah, I was doing my best, trying to get home without dying. It's a miracle that I even survived it all. Then, that woman, that Karen, she just decided to lean out of her car window, as she was driving by, and just screamed at me. She asked if I was effing crazy, like I was just doing this for fun, like I wasn't just trying to survive. Like my life was some joke to her. Like she didn't have the capacity to actually see what was happening, to actually realize what I was going through. She just had to yell, she just had to cause some drama, she had to make me feel terrible about my existence. Like, bitch, I'm just trying to get home without dying, I don't need you, a complete and total stranger, piling on with your ignorance, with all of your judgment, with all of your self-righteous hate. Maybe you should actually look around and see what is going on before you start yelling at a random stranger in a wheelchair, but, what do I expect from someone like her? She was never going to understand, she was never going to get it, she was just going to yell, and scream, and try to make me feel as terrible as she was on the inside. Merry fucking Christmas to you too, Karen. You are a blight on this earth, and I just wish that you could understand even a fraction of what I have to endure, every single day, just to survive, just to live. And now, I need more coffee. I just need to wash this whole mess out of my system, because the only thing that I want to do is just go back home, put on some music, and just forget about all of the terrible people, all of the judgment, and all of the chaos that I have to deal with, on a daily basis. That's it, that is the story, that's all I have to say. And also? I hope that you are all having a decent holiday, unlike me.